Hi, in this video, I'll be explaining Chapter 10 of the book Transportation Management with SAP TM. So first is transportation charge management. So this specific thing in SAP TM actually helps manage transportation contracts, which enables shippers and logistic service providers to maintain visibility over transportation cost. So it also supports the calculation of charge across multiple transportation modes like sea, air, and rail for different users, which includes shippers, carriers, and railways as well. And then in this figure, it actually shows how SAP TM works, how SAP TM's charge management works. It also shows how master data such as transportation contracts, agreements, which includes forwarding, freight, and internal and service products, are actually centrally stored and utilized for automated charge determination in documents like forwarding orders and freight bookings. And then we have charge calculation master data. So in SAP TM, the master data repository stores various elements which are required for charge calculation, such as forwarding and fleet agreements and internal agreements as well, and calculation sheets and rate tables. So these master data objects actually shows how a charge are calculated for different transport scenarios. And this figure, this actually shows transportation contracts how they are structured within SAP TM. It also provides a business example which involves ocean freights, where each trade line has specific charge like ocean freight, bunker fees, which are managed through calculation sheets and rate tables. And next is the forwarding agreement. So this actually represents a contract between logistic service provider and its customer. It not only contains contracted rates but also other commercial terms such as payment methods and service products. So these agreements are actually integrated with forwarding orders for charge calculation. And in this figure, this actually shows how the general data is maintained for forwarding arguments, such as which are involved in business partners, validity date, and sales organization. It also shows on the agreement status and version control as well. And next is the fleet agreement. So these are the contracts between the shippers and the carriers. So they are used to manage transportation rates and service for fleet orders and booking. So like forwarding agreements, fleet agreements contain complex rate tables and service products. And this image actually shows header section of the fleet agreement. So this highlights the purchasing organization, validity dates, and others essential details. It also shows how fleet agreements and are actually managed similarly to forwarding agreements with functionality like versioning and preconditions. And next is the calculation sheet structure. So the calculation sheet in SAP TM defines how various charges such as basic fleet surcharges are calculated. It also organizes these charges in a structured manner, which also maps them to a specific rate tables based on defined rules. So this figure shows structure of the calculation sheet, shows how individual charges are actually assigned to rate tables. It also provides an example with ocean fleet charges and also demonstrate how multiple charges are actually handled in a sequence for accurate calculation. And next is the calculation sheet setup and customizing. So this setup of a calculation sheet involves defining charge types and their calculation methods such as fixed rates or percentage values. So customizing these elements actually help user tailor the calculation logic to their business need. And this figure actually gives a visual of how charge types are actually customized in SAP TM. Users also can customize settings like whether a charge is positive or negative. I mean, like a discount, if they have discounts or not, and as well as how rounding is handled in this. And next is creation and structure. So rate tables, which actually store the actual transportation rates, can be carried either from calculation sheet or as standalone tables. So these rate tables are actually linked to specific charge type and help them automate the charge calculation process. And this figure actually shows the rate table structure, which also shows the valid dates, currency, and applicable scales such as origin, destination, and equipment type, which are actually need to be defined. So this actually highlights the process of maintaining rates and applying them to charge calculation. And next is the scale. So scales in the rate table define the dimension by which charges are calculated, such as weight, distance, and time. So these are very important for structuring rate table and ensuring the correct calculation of charge based on predefined criteria. And this figure shows the process for generating scales in SAP team. So the scales are creating using predefined calculation basis. So which are then actually assigned to the rate table for specific charge types, such as free charges based on weight or distance. Next, in the maintenance tools, so SAP TM offers tools for mass updating rate tables such as Excel integration for bulk edits. So these tools actually streamline the maintenance of large rate tables, which are actually common in complex transportation agreement. And this image actually shows the SAP TM's mass update function, which also allows users to like adjust changes for multiple rate tables at once, which also makes it easier to handle adjustment like fleet rate updates across several contracts. And next is the service agreements in service in agreements and orders. So SPTM actually enables a definition of service products and service agreement, which also represent non-transport service such as fumigation or expedited delivery. So these services can be integrated into other agreements and orders for charge calculation. And this figure shows how the structure of a service product catalog and how service agreement are created using predefined service items. So it also highlights how service products are bundled and applied to customer contracts. And next is the standard operating procedures, which is the SOP. So in SAP TM, it actually provides a framework for service execution. It also helps organize service level agreement by actually defining specific procedure for handling transportation service. So this image actually shows a work list showing the task and activities linked to which is linked to a standard operating procedure. It also helps organization to execute transportation service as outlined in the service agreement. And next is a contract determination logic. So SAP TM contract determination logic actually ensures that correct agreement is applied to transport order. It also we have to consider factors like type of transport, service level, and the parties involved in it to like select appropriate contract. And next we have the this figure which shows an overview of the calculation and charge profile. It also shows how different charge calculation scenarios are managed, and also how it is defined which charges are applied based on the profile settings. And next is a precondition for contract determination. So define the criteria under which a contract is selected for a transport order. So this includes factor like transportation mode, movement type, and service level. And this figure shows the condition set up for determining the applicable charge sheet. It also highlights how precondition actually influence the selection of charge selection for accurate charge calculation. And next is the charge calculation logic in selling, buying, and internal invoicing process. So SAP TM actually supports different types of charge calculation for sale, procurement, and internal settlement. So this logic also ensures that right charges are applied based on type of transportation. And next is the calculation rules and methods. So calculation rules govern how charges are computed, such as multiplying a base rate by distance or weight. So SAPTM also allows flexible calculation method to suit different transportation scenario. And this image actually shows a rate table which is actually which applies the calculation rule, which also shows how base rates are modified by factors such as distance to calculate final transportation cost. And next is the charge calculation results and charge estimation. So SAP TM actually provides detailed results for charge calculation, which includes estimate for upcoming shipments. This also helps users to like plan cost and manage budget efficiently. And this image actually shows the charge calculation result in forwarding orders, which shows how they apply charges and are consolidated to determine the total cost. And next is the multiple rate hit and minimum maximum charges. So SAP team actually allows support which supports scenarios where multiple rates might be applied and also allow for setting minimum and maximum charge limit. This also ensures that charges stay within agreed threshold. And this image shows a scenario where multiple rates have to be applied to transport order. So this highlight how SAPTM manages these situations by selecting the most appropriate rate based on predefined rule. And next is the internal charge calculation. So this in SAPTM allows for calculating charges between organization unit within the same company. So this is commonly used for internal settlement between different company profit centers such as sales and purchasing organization. So internal charges can be actually triggered either based on internal rate agreements or actual costs from transportation documents like fleet orders. Next is the charge calculation for air freight. So SAP supports two methods for calculating air freight. So one is the International Air Transport Association standardized rate or individual contract base. So this system is also capable of uploading air cargo traffic to enable charge calculation based on the IATA published routes. The IATA means International Air Transport Association. Next is the IATA and contract-based charge calculation. So this section actually shows how SAP TM actually supports both IATA and individual contract rates for air freight. Rate can also be set for ULD. Special commodities or general cargo, which allows flexibility in pricing depending on the weight trials and other factors. So the TACT, which is the um, air cargo traffic rates, standard traffic from the ITA can also be uploaded for charge calculation. So this figure shows the calculation of charges during the air freight booking, such as airway bill printing and carrier settlement charges. So SAPDM can automatically select the appropriate rate category based on details for air freight booking. Next is the charge calculation based on chargeable weight. So in air freight and less than container load, air freight, ocean freight charge calculation are commonly based on higher value between actual weight and chargeable weight. Chargeable weight is a combination of weight and volume, which where rates are determined based on the most optimal value between them. So this table actually shows different scenarios where the air freight charge calculation depend on the chargeable weight. So, for example, the dimensional weight is used for rating purpose, where determining the final charge with the higher value out of the weight and value-based weight being used. And next is through rates. Cross rates and uncontrolled shipments. So through rates are end-to-end rate calculated from origin to final destination. So commonly used in ocean freight. Cross rate involves separate charges for each leg of the journey, such as pre-carriage, main carriage, and on carriage. So which are calculated independently. So this figure shows how SAPTM manages the concepts of through rates and cross rate, which shows how charges can be determined for different transport stages, such as pre-carriage, main carriage, and post-carriage. And next is the charge calculation for trucking, rail freight, and container management. So SAP offers specialized functionality for calculating freight charges for trucking, rail, and container management. So trucking often the most cost-effective mode, which has specific calculation features such as fuel surcharges, while rail freight includes option for containerized freight calculation. Next is event-based charges. So SAP team actually triggers charges based on certain predefined events in the transportation process, such as delays or missed deadlines. So these event based on charges can actually be defined within the system and applied automatically where when the respective event occur. So this figure shows how SAP TM actually uses the event profile to calculate event-based charges, which also shows the configuration process to define charge triggering based on transportation milestone and incident. So that's all from this chapter. Thank you.